Hello everyone, the Ontario Gardener here. It is a nice, kind of warm, it's like +6 outside, nice and sunny, no wind. And today I want to do a little bit of seedling transplanting. Now I have a bunch, I'll show you in a second here. I have a bunch of cuttings. So not seedlings, so to speak, cuttings. Of things, well, there's pothos and there are spider plants. Those are the only two things. And some of these cuttings, get you up close there. Some of the pothos cuttings, the roots are getting very yellow because they've just been sitting in this bowl for like a couple months. But we're going to transplant these, or plant these into some pots today. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how I do that. And I also have an avocado seed. And this root is getting very, very long and it's starting to put up a shoot. So I did do this a few months ago, like last fall, and it grew a shoot and the leaves started coming out and then it just died. So I don't know if we can have better luck this time, but we got to get this planted as well. So I'm going to take you, next segment, I'm going to show you the containers that I'm going to use and kind of how I want to go about doing it. I haven't done like a planting or transplanting video in a long, long time. So hopefully I still know how to do it. Later on this week, well, later on whenever you guys see these episodes, I will be doing a pepper seedling, tomato seedling, and different seeding episodes to get back to kind of showing you how I go about doing that in this new location here. Because I'm not in my grow rooms like I was previous years when I used to do seeds and seedlings. I'm here at my shop, a little bit different setup, but the technique is going to be the same, and I'll definitely bring you guys in for that. But anyway, the next segment, I'm going to show you the containers that I have, what I'm going to use, and then we're going to get to planting. Alrighty, and we're back here. So the tools that I have today, as I have my container, this is just some, the birds are really out today. Just some Miracle-Gro potting mix, nothing special, just Miracle-Gro. I don't have any big bales of Pro Mix anymore. I don't have anything like that at the moment. We have this, we have our 3.5-inch square cups, and we have our 18-pack trays. Now, for those of you who are just joining us, this will all be new to you, but those of you who have been sticking around for the last, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years, none of this stuff is new. I've used to use the 18 trays before. I used a 3.5-inch or 3-inch cups. They're actually like 3.25, I think, or maybe 3.3 size. But you call them 3-inch cups. 18 will fit on each one of these. I do have more of these in my other part of my shop. Probably need more. I'm not sure how many cuttings I have. But let's just jump right into it. So the first things first is we have some pothos cuttings here. And the roots are pretty long. Now, the browning is just because they've been exposed to light, which is in air as well, which is not the best thing. But there are some cuttings in here. Look at that. That's a nice cutting. And the reason why these things haven't grown any more than what they have is because they've just been being fed water. We have no nutrients in these at all. Now, the Miracle-Gro potting mix, I have it back here. I don't know if you can see it. It has a bit of nutrients in it. I'm not sure if you can see that back behind me. But anyway, these are a bit tricky, so you can't just fill this and shove it in because you have the roots. So you want to put a little bit of soil in it and then kind of, not wind the roots. You could cut the roots, I guess, as well, and then just fill it up. And I'm going to fill it up to this top node here. And I'll show you a zoom in real close. So up to this top node is where I want to put it, because the roots are underneath this, but I'm going to fill it to that, and then the roots will form along here, and that's your plant. It's not, oops, I drop it. It's not completely centered. You want to leave a little bit of head space up here so when you put water, it doesn't overflow. So that's one done. Let's do a couple more while we're here. Put a little bit of soil in the bottom, just, I don't know, a 1/2 inch, just so the roots aren't touching the bottom of the pot, and you kind of stick this in, and you can kind of twist it a bit to get the roots down in there. And then you don't have to be that ginger about how to hold it, how to handle these, but you don't want to slam them in there because you don't want to mess up the roots. Now the reason why all these are bent as well is because they've been growing in this pot, in this bowl, so they've all been growing up. Wow, look at this! Look at this one. That's a nice looking one. They're already starting to put out side roots. This one might be a little bit dead, but there you go. Look at the fine roots that are forming on this. And again, these have been in here for months. So as soon as they get some soil in them, again, let's do another one. You take it, you stick it in, and all you gotta do is just twist it a bit to get the roots down in there. and you hold the stem up, and then you just kind of pop them in like that. You tamp the soil. I'm always a big believer in tamping the soil pretty firmly, but you're not cramming it in there, because as soon as you put water in this, all this will settle down a bit more. And anyway, there you go. These will start turning upright within a day or two. These will start growing upright. Now let's do a spider plant. We have a bunch of spider plants in here. Some of them, look at the size of that. That's one. Look at the roots on that. So this one, what I'll do down here is I'm actually going to take off these bottom leaves, because if not, they're going to die anyway, because they're going to rot. For even that one, I'm going to take that off. Look at that. That's a nice healthy spider plant baby. Look at that. Wow. So this one here, because the roots aren't as big, I'm actually going to fill the container pretty much to the top, right? I'm going to try to not get, because they are wet. Just make a little hole in that, stick it down in, put some more soil around it, tamp it down, you know, semi-firmly. And again, any of the leaves that are going to be under the soil level will die, but because they don't have such a huge root system on there, you're gonna deal with that. Look at that. In a few weeks from now, this will be rooted perfectly well, and I might want to pull it up just a little bit, just something like that. And there, you just got to be very careful when you water these at first, because you will disturb the roots. Let's find, let's do one more spider plant. Wow, look at this. This could almost be two. You could almost break that into two. Yeah, I'll leave it as one. I don't want to chance it, because what I do with these, I make my own hanging baskets, and I'll show you guys that, of course, when the time comes. This one I'm going to fill it all the way up, make a little bit of a hole, and just kind of plop it down in there. Now you could actually probably use a bigger container for this size spider plant, but I want to keep things consistent, so I can use these like almost 10-20 type trays. And let's just do one more pothos. Look at this. Look at this one. So you have some that look like that, and you have some that look like this. This is still going to live, despite it not having many roots. This will still live. But look at that. That's a nice seedling right there. Now again, these roots will turn back white once they are, once they stop being exposed to light. But again, you stick it down in there. This one you don't even have to twist that much. Hold it up a little bit. Plop some dirt in. Of course, everything's going to get dirty. Especially if you have house plants, you just want to kind of clean the leaves off a little bit before you bring them back inside. There you go. Because these are all going to go inside of my little greenhouse, which will be a video coming up. Lastly, we have the avocado. Now the avocado is going to be a bit trickier, because the root, you see it here, the root is curly, and you don't want to break this. So we're going to try our best to not break it. We're just going to kind of filter some soil in here. You can call it dirt. I won't be offended. I'm going to tamp it down very lightly. And I want to pile this very, very full. And just tamp this down so gently. So you don't want to really submerge the seed. Now, I know the root's still attached, because I can feel some resistance pulling. And I want to take these out if I can. There we go. Taking these out aren't going to harm this at all, because eventually this seed, did I get this one out? This seed, come on. I might actually just have to cut this one. Which again, it won't, there we go, got it out, perfect. You don't want to submerge the seed too deep in here, because it'll start to rot. So just something just like that, and I actually have a little, like a decorative plastic container for that. There you go. And you got a little sprout coming out. As long as this keeps growing, which it looks like there's some bud on here, it should do well. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is, I hope the camera's not too high. I'm going to finish potting the rest of these up. I'll bring you back and show you what we end up with. Alrighty, we're back. So all my transplanting, or seeding, or whatever you want to call it, is finished. I did a couple other things. Here I have these things. I'm not exactly sure what these are called. I want to call it like a peppercina or something, but I don't think that's what it is. It's a type of a succulent thing, and it has thick leaves. Got my pothos, I got my spider plants, and I have a poinsettia that I've been growing, keeping alive from Thanksgiving 2020. And I did a bunch of cuttings on that today. I'm not sure how good these root, just doing it like this. But I have, let's see, I have 6 cuttings of that, 6 of this, and I actually use, for the cuttings that don't have roots, I use this Clonex rooting gel. I've had this for a few years. I've used it on various things. It's supposed to, let's see what it says. It doesn't say on here what the active ingredient is. Oh, it's indicol 3 butyric acid, 0.31%. I think that's the active ingredient. It's just to help stimulate root growth. So I have my trays here. You can kind of see this. Got one tray here, pothos, full pothos tray, and then this is a mixed tray. I'm gonna get these inside and put them in my little mini greenhouse, which I will have a video on at some point. Just not yet. I haven't made the video yet. It's one of those little greenhouses that you can buy from Amazon. You can use it outside, like if you have a nice deck or something where it's sheltered from the wind. But I'm using it in the house because I have the space to do that. But anyway, I also have my avocado, of course. So I want to thank you guys for joining in. Hopefully this was helpful in how to pot up rooted cuttings. Basically, it's potting up rooted cuttings. That's kind of what the title of the video is going to be. I do have some seeding videos and things that are coming down. Maybe within a week or two, I'll have some, I want to get back into growing some tomatoes, maybe some lettuce this year, definitely some onions, things like that, just down to my garden, which you guys have never seen yet. But I do want to get that stuff going. I have a lot of gardening, a lot of farming videos. I actually have at least 50 rooted saplings coming from the township. Every year they give out 50 saplings in bunches of 10. You order different kinds, different types back in like October. And it's to encourage landowners or homeowners to plant trees. I usually get sugar maples, silver maples, a couple red maples, maybe some birch. I'm not exactly sure what I got this year, a couple oak. And I already have about 50 to 60 down in my garden plot already. I'll be planting these down there. They come in just little whips, first year whips. That's the technical term. But yeah, and they'll grow. And then once they get big enough, they're gonna get planted around the property. I'll show you guys all that as time rolls on. It's like March 22nd. The first day of spring was the other day. I think it was yesterday actually, right? So we have a lot of time to do some planting, some gardening, and I can't wait to take you guys along and bring you guys along with that and show you what I like to get up to. Thanks for watching.